All right, some more Legacy. Who's excited for some Legacy? I think Alex and Vincent are certainly excited. So we have Alex on the left side playing his signature Abzan Maverick, and on the right side we have Vincent. He is playing Blood Eldrazi. Now, if you're wondering what the blood stands for, it is not Blood Moon. Blood Moon is a very, very bad combination when you're playing Ancient Tomb in an Eldrazi temple. No, it refers to Blood Sun, which is notably much worse, but is definitely still effective, especially if you can put it down on turn 1. It cantrips, it shuts down fetches and any kind of activated abilities from lands, except from your mana ability. So it doesn't deny you your mana, which is a very, very noticeable difference. But it does turn off Wasteland on your Soul lands, so yeah, that's definitely an upside. Definitely an upside. Now, when we last saw Vincent, he was playing in the semi-finals for last month's Dutch Magic Hub monthly. If you haven't watched that and you're interested in the deck, I would definitely recommend you go back and watch it. But for now, we're gonna watch his game against this Maverick deck. Bone Crusher Giant's gonna try and kill the Knight of the Reliquary, which is uncharacteristically a 2/2. Normally, you would have fetched by now, but that's not how this game is going, it seems. Now, in case you haven't watched the other video I posted today, I'll give you a quick summary of things going on. It had a bit of an off week. It's been kind of busy, kind of crazy. But it's good to be back. Watch some matches of Magic. Wow, I can't speak right now. Holy hell. Anyway, it's good to be back. It's good to be talking out of my ass for an hour or two. You know, just the regular. I have a pretty big back catalog of matches from the last 2.5 weeks of games. So until I am reasonably caught up, I am going to be posting 2 videos a day. So be on the lookout for that. Also, since the lockdown here in the Netherlands was somewhat relaxed, we've been able to go back to using Event Link and MTG Companion, which means that instead of round robin, we're going back to the Swiss. Which, from what I've heard, has definitely improved the quality of matches. What in the... I think Vincent is at 21. Yeah, from what I've heard, it's led to some really good games of Magic. Not just from that. By the way, we've also got Modern Horizons 2, which is now legal in the format, both Legacy and Modern. So, yeah, there has been a lot of shakeup in the format. A lot of shakeup. Which, I get that some people might be kind of burned out on all the things that have been happening. But you know, all the new cards being released, the format being warped every couple weeks. I get that. On the other hand, I do like the variety in games it's been giving us. It's been a massive variety. We've we've actually seen some Mono Horizons 2 cards already in the other video, which I recorded first. So if you haven't seen that one yet, check it out. Maybe we'll see some this game. I'm not 100% sure, but you know, never say never. Meanwhile, we have this game, which I've kind of been neglecting a bit. We have Vincent was off to a pretty good start, but it seems Alex is able to just power through it. The Reality Smasher got sorts. The Knight of the Reliquary is now finding Wasteland to just start picking Vincent's mana base apart. We had the Knight of Autumn, which got rid of the Chrome Mox. We have Questing Beast coming down as a pretty significant threat. And Vincent is going to have to find some sort of answer for what Alex is doing here, and he needs to do it fast, because he's not going to have a lot of mana left at this rate. He's not going to have a lot of life left at this rate. Now, he does still have the Bone Crusher Giant, but he can't actually cast it because he doesn't have any red mana, it seems. I can't quite tell what he has in hand. Thinking back at Vincent's deck list, he, aside from the obvious mountains, of course, he plays Simian Spirit Guide, which could make red for a turn. He's also playing the Shatter Skull Smashing, and I forgot what the other side is called, but on one end it's a board wipe, and on the other it's a land. Now, Vincent could definitely use some land here, I think. He could definitely use some red mana. He might also be in the market for a board wipe. That's a very real possibility. And Alex just going face. Vincent to 8. And I think that might be lights out for Vincent. Yeah, Alex just finding another wasteland. And Vincent has seen enough. And we go to game 2. Alright, both players on the mulligan to 6. Now, during sideboarding, I was thinking, dangerous, I know. They give these damn players in their sideboarding give me way too much time to think. Anyway, I was thinking, Maverick has got to be Vincent's worst matchup. At least one of the worst. Like, Blood Sun isn't very relevant. Your mana base is under constant attack, because Alex can only play his wasteland, he actually finds them pretty consistently, so I would imagine that is somewhat of a nightmare for Vincent. Alex is playing a bunch of spot removal to just get rid of the big dumb Eldrazi. And yeah, just so many dead cards from Vincent's side, and pretty much anything Alex does is gonna be relevant in some capacity. Like, the fact that Vincent is playing Blood Sun and not Blood Moon is also relevant here, because Alex does not have to worry about his colored costs. He doesn't have to worry about Blood Moon turning off his Knight of the Reliquary. The only thing Blood Sun actually does in this matchup is it turns off Wasteland, which is relevant, absolutely, and it turns off Fetches, which is also relevant, because it is not unusual for Maverick to just Get a fetch, crack the fetch, bump the Knight of the Reliquary, just grind through your lands. As we have Thought-Knot Seer coming out from Vincent here. And like, we like to make jokes about how deck thinning isn't actually relevant. Well, it is when in the average game you're seeing half your deck, you know? I think a while back somebody did the math on it, and in a regular 60-card deck, a single fetch is only going to make the difference after you've seen, I believe, 27 cards, which that's a lot for a lot of decks. But if every turn you're cracking 2 fetches, it's maybe a bit exaggerated, but let's just say every turn you're cracking 2 fetches, and you're drawing for the turn, and you're playing Green Sun Zenith, suddenly, like, 27 cards doesn't sound like that much. Now, it's a little bit more because Vincent is a very aggressive deck. Like we saw turn 1 Reality Smasher, turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer here. That's pretty aggressive, I'm not gonna lie. But oh yeah, actually, now that I think about it, Green Sun Zenith doesn't actually work with that math because it just replaces itself with whatever you find. So it's, yeah, no, that doesn't work. But still, like you know what I mean, right? You get the point. Of course, you get the point. Now we also see Yavimaya coming out here from Alex, which I gotta say, that's definitely been an upgrade for this deck. Like, turning everything into a forest, just literal everything, means that Knight of the Reliquary just starts sacrificing lands like there's no tomorrow. Like, everything is a target. Everything must go. So it's gonna take everything from Vincent here, including this Eldrazi Obligator, to try and get through Alex here. Now, for those of you who don't know Eldrazi Obligator, it's a 3-mana 3/1, I believe, but you can kick it to steal one of your opponent's creatures. Actually, let me get the exact Oracle text on that thing. The important thing here is the card steals one of your creatures until end of turn, and it gets haste. Yeah, it's 2 in a red, devoid because it's an Eldrazi, and then 1 in a colorless means you get control of target creature until end of turn. You untap it, it gains haste, which I've actually seen Vincent use that on one of his own creatures before to give it haste. Because you can target your own creatures. Just 2 mana, give one of your creatures haste. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And to make matters worse, Alex, despite being able to tap the knight here, won't actually tap it for the sake of Vincent. Like, he can tap it to sacrifice one of his lands, find whatever it is that he's going to find here. But that doesn't actually do it. Because it will untap, and then the knight is just a 2/2 with haste, and it's coming at you. So the Obligator itself also has haste. That's worth mentioning. So this Obligator, just in and of itself, is already presenting 5 damage, if left unblocked. We have the Reality Smasher, which is representing another 5 damage, but the Smasher, of course, has Trample, and then we have the Thought-Knot Seer, which is another 4. So I'm not sure if Alex still has an out here. Yeah, I think it would have to be Sword Supply. No, wait. We know Alex's hand. There's nothing he can do. Wait, how big is this knight? This knight is a 4/4. So let's assume that just for ease of math, he's blocking the Thought Knot Seer, because blocking the Reality Smasher doesn't matter, and the other two, you just kill yourself. That's still 5 coming at you. No, wait. He could block and tap and sack. He could block, tap, get one of his other, get one of his lands in the graveyard. That means Knight of Reliquary is suddenly a 5/5. So you perfectly block the Reality Smasher. You still got 2 from the Knight, 3 from the Obligator, and 4 from the Thought Knot Seer. Plus, you just lost one of your Knights. But you would technically still be alive at 1. And at that point, you would get the Knight back. Also, maybe worth mentioning, Vincent could actually decide to tap the Knight, sack one of his own creatures, because Yavimaya, just like Urborg, makes all of Vincent's lands for us as well. But I wouldn't know what Vincent would get with that, so I think that has to be incorrect. And to be honest, I think Vincent should just go with everything here. Now, he's thinking about keeping the Obligator back, but I'm not sure why he would. As a blocker, I would imagine, but just swing with everything, force the chump from Alex, put him to 1, and now even though he has the remaining Knight, you can just kill him next turn, right? Wait. Did Alex just go to 9? Oh, right, because he can fetch Dryad Arbor. Of course. Of course. Right. Wait. Didn't you wait for attackers? Because it looks like Vincent is still considering what it is that he's doing here. Okay, I'm not sure what's going on, not gonna lie. Maybe someone in the comments can tell me. Actually, now that I look at it, Vincent said 14. The Ancient Tomb. So, yeah, Vincent decides not to attack with the Thought Knots here. But he is attacking with the Obligator. Which means the Dryad Arbor is now blocking the Obligator to death. And the Knight blocks the Reshaper. So yeah, the Knight and Reshaper trade. Alex goes to 7 and gets his Knight back. Interesting. Yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe Vincent is worried about the blowback. Decides he wants a blocker. Maybe he doesn't want to give Alex the card. I'm not sure, and it's a good chance that I'm just missing something. But yeah, I don't know. If you know, please just let me know in the comments, because I'm confused. as I often am, but that's okay. So we still have the Thalia from Alex here, and the Noble Hierarch. I think his third card is Green Sun Zenith. Yeah, it does look like a Green Sun Zenith as a draw for the turn, yeah. Yeah, definitely. So we have Thalia, Noble Hierarch, Green Sun Zenith. Interesting. So Alex is not out of the woods yet. Vincent had a pretty good turn, and Alex managed to come out of it quite nicely. But he still has to turn it around if he wants to win, and we have a 5/5 Knight of the Reliquary, I believe. Which is... if it attacks, it's a 6/6, but it's still going to be 3 attacks for Alex here and only 2 for Vincent. So Vincent is going to win that race, should it come to that. Assuming Vincent doesn't just top deck a Reality Smasher and just goes face, and at that point, yeah. But to be honest, if Alex is attacking, he's attacking under the assumption that if Vincent has Reality Smasher, he's just gonna be dead right there and then. It looks like a Knight activation here for Alex. Most likely gonna be Wasteland. That is gonna be Wasteland. Gonna get rid of Vincent's red source here. No cheeky burn spells giving Vincent the reach here. No Rebel Masters, which would be able to get through. There are now, it seems, 6 lands in Alex's graveyard, which means that's a 8/8 Knight of the Reliquary, a 10/10 if it attacks alone. That's a big knight. Is a big knight. Hope Notes here coming in here. Alex decides, you know what, I'm gonna take 4. City of Traders for Vincent. Looks like no red source. Alex still here. Still breathing. Somewhat. There's still a clock on the table. There's still the possibility for Vincent to just top deck something and win the game out of nowhere. Again, Reality Smasher here still just ends the game on the spot. Now, didn't quite see... well, though, I think that's still the Green Sun Zenith, and the draw for the turn was a Winsep Thief. Right. Now, the Knight here is a 10/10. Don't think Alex can actually get it up to 14. That's maybe a bit too rich. We are going to see Green Suns coming out for 3 here. I think that might be the second... no, it's a Script Ranger. Okay. Looks like Alex is gonna try and set up the kill here. Just untapping his Knight of the Reliquary a bunch of times. Now, it's I don't think it's enough for this turn. I'm pretty sure it's not enough for this turn. Alex did already use his land for the turn. So, at most, he can get 2 more activations and then attack. Or he gets 3 activations, but he leaves himself open again to Reality Smasher. That's gonna be land 7. So 7 lands, then the 2 from the night itself, and then the 2 Exalted triggers. Of course, instead of the Exalted triggers, you could attack with Thalia, but like it doesn't actually gain you any damage, and you would still lose the blocker potentially. Wasteland. Get rid of the Eldrazi Temple. Now we have 8 lands in Alex's graveyard. And most likely gonna pass turn here with the option of untapping Knight of the Reliquary should Vincent decide to attack into this. If Vincent doesn't attack during his next turn, Alex may decide to not tap the Knight of the Reliquary and save his land drop the turn after. I think if that happens, Alex might actually have lethal next turn. No, Alex actually decides to go for it this turn. Now, he did already use his land drop. He used it to play the Windswept Heath. Okay, Alex decides to take the line and attack. Put Vincent to 2. 2-2. And Alex doesn't look dead on the backswing. I think if Vincent drew the Reality Smasher, he would have just slammed it already. So that's not looking good for Vincent here. Now the Script Ranger is a 1/1, so yeah, even if Vincent decides to keep a blocker up here, the Script Ranger can attack and get 2 Exalted triggers, and that's GG. That's game 2 and the match for Alex.